everyone, we are playing Lords of Heaven, game by Phalanx, and this is the prototype. Game is going on Kickstarter, but when you see it, you probably see it on Kickstarter, so the game is on Kickstarter. And the game is about war. So we are friends, but we are going to go on war for a moment, for the next half an hour or so.
Yes, this game is set in the First Crusades, so it is a war between crusading factions there. Lords of Heaven is designed by Alexander Jagodzinski and also illustrated.
And hello everyone, it's Stella.
And Tarrant.
And I'm Henry.
And we are going to play different factions where there's going to be maybe alliance, backstabbing. We'll see what happens. And what we're going to do, as usual, in these few rounds playthrough, we're going to give you an overview of the game, and then we're going to start getting into gameplay for a few rounds, just to get the gist of how it plays.
So this is the map. This is where we're going to be crusading. We're each playing a thematically different faction, but the factions do play the same. So I am Seljuk, Stella is the Caliphate, and Henry is the Crusaders. And we have and the fourth player is the Byzantines if you play with them. And the game has a setup where you've got pieces already on the board in a thematically appropriate setup location. The game's going to play over 2 crusades, and each crusade is going to have between 6 and 8 rounds. We won't know how many until we get to it. And in each round, each of us is going to be taking a turn to play a card into this card play area and take the action associated with that column. And the 2 actions here on the left, we're going to be building cards up from bottom to top, and it's going to be increasing the cost of the action we take. So if I just briefly show you some things from the deck here, I could play a card into here and take this action, but it would cost me 2 coins. And then the next player who played a card into there would stack it on top, and now the total cost would be 4 coins. And so these actions are going to get more and more expensive as the round goes on. And these are largely the ones that have you putting pieces on the board. Then over on the right-hand side, these actions come with benefits. So you'll be playing the cards from top to bottom, and they all have these benefits in the top right corners. And as you play more cards down here, you'll be getting more and more benefits as the round goes on. So everything's going to get more expensive or more beneficial. These actions here, these are about gaining income and moving and starting conflicts. So we'll be vying for control over the map in a couple of different ways. So each of the locations, I've just taken Jerusalem off the board here to show you. There's a city over on the left where each player can have 1 influence in a city, and they're ordered. So you can see here that yellow is in the stronger position, the higher cost position, and has control. Red has lesser control, but there's an important influence part for having that control of cities. And then over on the right-hand side is the region, and this is where players place their support, which is the little flag icon. And they're the ones that are going to be moving around and waging most of the battles. There are really 3 ways to gain points in the game. One is by controlling the cities, so having the best influence and then getting these control markers. These will be scored twice during the game, once after the first crusade and once after the second. The second way is simply getting involved in conflicts. Simply by being in a conflict, you'll get a point. So there's an incentive to keep the fight going. But by winning conflicts, you will either get more points or it will help you control the cities. And then the third way to score is by doing buildings and doing upgrades. There are points for just getting pieces off your player board. Card play is an important part of the game, so each of us begins the game with a hand of 4 cards. These both drive your actions and they have a role in the battle. You have 1 bluff card, which is used only in the battle, and then the rest are used in combat. And during setup, we drafted these cards so that we have an optimal hand to begin play. You'll see that right now in setup, there are 7 locations. There are 2 over here to the side, and those will enter play midway during the game when the first crusade is over. And so that way the board will expand and there'll be new places to go and fight as the game progresses.
All right, I am the first player because I'm the least awesome. We've already decided before the game. So what we're gonna do is, this is the player screen. I'm gonna just remove it for the purpose of the video, so the camera can see things clearer. So there's a handy dandy reference things as well.
Yep, and these are mostly used during conflict so that players can't see what you have and haven't chosen to put into conflict. So first thing we do is flip the round card. This has no effect other than to count the rounds, and it will tell us when the last round comes.
My first turn, I will use this card to do some influencing action. So we're going to put it on the side so you can see clearer. The cost is on the bottom right, which is 2 money. And because on the top left, that's a well icon, so I'm a yellow player, I can do the text actions as well as the action that I put this card onto.
Yes, this is a general thing that you can do in either of these left 2 actions which have a cost, is that if the faction of the card matches yours, you can also do the event effect printed in the middle.
Yes. All right, first I will play 2 money there.
Yep, that's the general cost for the action.
Correct. And then I will place my crown right here and paying 2 here.
Yep, so this action is presents. You can place as many presents on the board as you can afford.
Thank you.
So placing influence into a column costs whatever money is shown at the top of that column.
And one more, I put my support here.
So the way that's all lined up, you can place influence down adjacent to where you have influence. You can place support down in locations where you have influence.
Woohoo! And now I resolve the text. So because I have 3 adjacent cities, I receive 5 faith. Very faithful.
Yes. So again, that's the event effect. If you play it in one of these 2 columns and it matches your faction, you can resolve the event as part of your action.
And draw back my hand. So I draw back to 3, or technically 4, including 1 card that stays in our hand, which is the bluff card.
My turn. I am going to take an action from the same column because it's going to get expensive quickly. It's already got a 2 gold cost down there. So first I have to pay the action cost, 2 gold. Then with my presence action, I'm going to try to get some support out in the southern half of the map, because at the moment my support is up north. I want to be a little bit flexible. So the only place I can put it is here in Tyrus, where I have some influence. So I'm going to place 2 there, which comes at a cost of 2 gold. And then the event on this card is that I can add another support to a region where I have support, and I gain a footman. So the support I'm going to add to Edessa because I have control there, and having some support there to consolidate that is helpful. And I gain 1 footman. So footmen are one of the 3 types of units in the game. Units don't go on the map, they go in your supply, and you commit them into conflicts, which we'll see once we start fighting some battles.
You have lots of them.
I do. I started with a lot of footmen. They are kind of the lowest level fighters. I don't have any knights or siege towers like you do.
Yeah, but still, lots of footmen. Seljuk. Tarrant the Seljuk, force to be reckoned with.
Indeed. And then I redraw.
Okay, my action. I am going to do the build action here.
This is called the development action.
Development action. Thank you, Tarrant. And this action will cost me 1 coin, because no one else has played there. Thank you. And with the develop action, I get to build 1 building out on the board and upgrade 1 of my tracks on my board.
So let's have a closer look at that now. We'll bring your board over to the side.
So on my board here, I've got 3 different types of buildings that I can build and 3 columns that I can upgrade.
So in the top row are the churches. They're mosques on the Islamic factions. And they're going to, as you get them out, they're going to help you re-roll dice in conflicts. And as you upgrade them, they're going to give you more income when you take the income action. In the middle of the fortresses, those are going to help you in battles, which are the support versus support conflict. And upgrading them will also give you more strength in those conflicts. And then at the bottom are the citadels. You'll see that they're not in player color. Citadels will help you control cities when you have the highest influence there, but if you do get kicked out, someone else can take over that citadel from you. But the citadels are also going to help to stop that from happening because they're going to help you when you get besieged.
That's the cost of not trademarking your influence. Kicked out.
So with this action, you can place one of those buildings in an appropriate place where you have the right presence, and also upgrade one of the buildings, and they don't have to be the same building.
So for my build action, I'm going to put out a castle, and I can put this between any two places where I have a presence or a crown.
Yep, any type of presence in one of the two adjacent locations allows you to put a fortress.
I'm going to put that up here. I then get to upgrade one of my tracks on my board. I'm going to upgrade my income track at the top here. So when I eventually do get these buildings out, they're going to give me more income. The second part of my action is on the card, and this is why I built the castle. It says for each of my castles on the board, gain 1 siege or 2 coins. So I've got 1 castle on the board, so I'm going to gain 2 coins using this.
Get your money back.
Yeah.
And more. Very good.
And you refill your hand.
Thank you.
And that moves us on to round 2.
Now, I want to do building. I want to build one of my buildings. Before I get prowls out of the market, because I have only 1 money, I will put it here. So it costs 1.
Your last remaining gold.
Last remaining gold. And I'm not going to do the effect. So it is possible to not need wanting to do the effect, although it's a wild color.
Yep, this effect is to remove up to 2 of your support from the board and gain 2 faith for each removed one.
I don't want to do that.
But
Yeah.
that's your prerogative.
Yeah, so what I'll do, I'll build my mosque. So, and then I will upgrade my mosque as well, because then it'll give me money and I'm really poor, and it'll give me a reroll for battle. Getting ready for that is probably good. I'll put mine here.
So a mosque needs to go into a location where you have support,
Which I do.
which means these are your 2 options. This would have been a place where I could build one as well. So putting it there blocks me out.
And I nudge you a little bit. Thanks, Tarrant. I love you. And redraw back.
Very good. I love you too.
Aww.
My turn. So all of the cards I have in hand cost 2 gold to play on the left-hand action, and I just can't afford it.
You have 1. Measly.
Yep. So I'm going to have to take an income turn. There is a 5th option, by the way, where you can discard a card and get a different sort of income, but I'm not going to do that. The proper income turn. So I'm going to play this card here, and then on my income turn, I get the benefits up here, which is 1 faith. If I had any mosques on the board, I would get income from those, but I do not. I get income from all of my influence on the board. So here in Tyrus, there's 2 gold in that column, so I gain 2 gold. And likewise up here in Edessa, it's 2 gold, so my total on the board income is 4. And I also get 2 other income, which I could take as faith, gold, footman, or siege towers. And I'm just going to take it as gold because I want to be able to do these building actions, and I can see it's about to get expensive.
You sure you don't need more footman, Tarrant?
I'm good for footman, good for footman for a while. All right, and then I redraw, and it's Henry's turn.
Okay, my turn. So I've got a bit more gold than my
Right, more than you now.
competitors. Well, now you do, yes. So I can afford to keep playing down here.
Mr.
So
Moneyback, what are you going to do?
I am going to do taxes.
Okay.
Everyone's favourite card. So this is going to cost me 3 because there's already 2 here, and it costs 1 itself. That's a lot of my money already gone. But I am going to resolve this part of the card first, the event. And this says gain coins from cities with your crowns. So I'm going to gain all the coins from cities that contain my crowns now. So at the moment, I have cities here, which gives me 2 coins. I have a city here that gives me 1. And also down here,
2.
I get 2. So it's going to give me 5 coins in total.
Keep on bragging.
And now I've gained some money. I'm going to perform the action that I played to. And I'm going to spend 5 coins in order to place my crown here.
Nice.
And I will get to take this, which indicates that I would get a point at the end of this crusade if I still control that area.
Yep.
The giant ants there. I mean, it's like
There is a fly crawling on the board.
There's a crusade going on.
crusade. Is someone riding those ants?
Ride the ant into battle.
I'm also, why I've got this, I'm also going to spend 1 more coin to put a flag out here. And that's just going to cost me 1 of those.
Okay, draw a card.
That's going to be my turn.
And we move to round 3.
My turn, I will play the income turn. So I'll place it here and it'll also cover this.
Yep, if there's 2 on there, it's only the top half that stays visible.
Yes. So this gives me 1 coin plus the generic 2 plus 3 in there. That makes it 5.
6.
Sorry, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's pretty good. And there's more. 10.
And a faith.
And a faith.
Yes, that one.
Because I really need more faith.
Because of that upgrade, it gives you a faith
Yacht.
and a coin for each mosque you have.
Yes, so that's good. I really need more faith. Not. That's my income 10. Now, I don't do this effect because on this part, although yellow is my color, I don't use that effect, only on these ones.
Correct. And you redraw.
Thank you.
I now get what looks like a relatively cheap development action, actually. It's only going to cost me 1 gold. And I want to get myself in a good position to defend sieges. So I'm going to both upgrade my citadels and place a citadel. And I'll be putting that citadel in Tyrus. Then I resolve the event, which is to add a support to the board. And I'm going to be the first one to get some presence in Tripoli. It's the empty location when the game starts. So being the first one in there, I could build a mosque there if I wanted before anyone else had a chance. I think it's a good real estate to build into.
Yeah, I mean, it's still cheap, right? Not really, but no one's there in reality.
And I get a new card.
Okay, for my action, I'm going to be the first one to take the movement. I'm going to put this card in there. So first of all, I get a gold, because there's a gold on the card. Thank you. And now I can start moving my troops around the board. I will spend 1 coin to move a group of units from this city over to here. I'm going to move 2 of my flags over to this location here. And I'm also going to start a battle in this location.
Fight.
So we'll just mark it with the conflict there. Mm-hmm. So just to highlight there, the movement action, you can move as much as you want around the board as long as you can afford it. Every group of units you move to an adjacent space is going to cost you 1 coin. Yeah. Also, when you take the movement action, your fortresses give you recruitment points. So you do get 1 recruitment point right
nice.
now.
So I will take a footman.
Yes. Footman is the only thing you can get with a single recruitment point. And so now it is time to go into battle. So I mentioned before there's 2 types of conflicts, which are battles and sieges. So this is a battle, and it begins with Henry's 3 support against my 2 support.
Mm-hmm. I firstly get a chance to move people in if I want to, right?
Yes, so you can continue moving up to 1 support per location in there at a cost of 1 gold each. So it's kind of an extension of your movement turn.
Yep. I won't do any more movements as I am quite poor. I'll save my lonely coin for a future round. So I'll give you the opportunity to do the same.
Yep, so, and we're skipping straight to that because normally at this point Henry would get to ask for anyone who wants to be an ally.
Yep.
But Stella's not close enough to this battle. She can't get any support into the location because she's at least 2 steps away. So we do just go straight to
Battle.
my reinforcement here.
Yes.
And I will reinforce. So I will spend 1 coin. Oops. 1 coin to reinforce this support into here. I don't want to lose too much here. I want to have a chance of getting some points because there's good points in winning a battle. This one's too far away though. It needs to be an adjacent location and there's no line that takes me there. The next step of battle is that we each choose 1 card from hand to play face down into the battle. And it's the effect, just showing an example card here, it's the effect in the lower left corner which is going to trigger, but we don't get to see which cards have been placed yet.
All right, Henry's picked.
All right, next is where we get to commit units and faith to the combat. So each of us has 3 support. That means we could each commit up to 6 units into the conflict, as well as any number of faith. A footman is going to add 1 strength to the combat. A knight is going to add 3 strength.
This one's got 3 swords.
Yep. And you can't use siege towers in a battle, only in a siege. So we both, this is where the screens come in handy. We would both look behind our screens and choose how many units we were going to put into this conflict. Okay. And reveal. And we also reveal our cards at this point.
No one's playing bluff.
No one's playing bluff. So right now, as a starting point, I have 3 footmen, 2 faith, and 3 swords on my cards. I have 8 swords, and with 3 support in the battle, I'm going to get to roll 3 dice.
And for myself, I have 4 swords from my footman, plus 1 from this card. I could play another card from my hand to add to this. I want to keep my card that I have. There's a very good action on that card. I don't think it's worth the extra swords. So I've currently got 5, and I've also got 1 from my castle out on the board because it's upgraded to level 1. And it's adjacent to the fight.
Yep, so if we look down to your player board, we'll see that in the left column there, it's +1 for an adjacent fortress. So
That puts me on 6.
starting point is 6 to 8.
All right, I need a good roll.
All right. Who's going to be the champion of Odessa?
Right. So this one is a bit of a bloodbath. So there's 2 symbols that can appear on these dice, and they are swords and wounds. And they have different effects. Swords are all about winning the conflict. Points come from winning. So neither of us has rolled any swords, and that means the 8 to 6 margin that was pre-existing stays. So I win the conflict. So the points that are scored, as the winner, I get 3 points. As the loser, Henry gets 1. If the other points value is 2, which is if you're the ally of the winner. But neither of us had an ally. Stella wasn't in the conflict, so gets nothing. Then we have to remove units and support for wounds, and this is where it's a bloodbath. You can have more wounds but still lose the conflict, but you need to lose those units. So I roll 5 wounds. You have 4 units, so you lose them all.
I'm going to lose all of them.
And the 5th wound causes you to lose a support from the board. I also have to suffer 5 wounds. I only had 3 units in the battle, so they're gone. And I lose 2 supports. So I've lost a bit of support. We both lost a bit of support in this conflict. The faith that I played, that's always single use, so that goes away. And at this point, if we had any units left alive, we could get them back, so you can use your units multiple times, but you have to pay a coin for each unit you get back. But they were completely decimated in this conflict, so no one has units to bring back. We discard the cards.
And the true winner of that conflict was Stella.
Look at where I am.
Scoreboard says
I'm 0. Yeah, exactly. I'm 0.
And then both of us get to redraw to our hands of 4.
We'll draw 2 cards.
And so with that, we move on to round 4.
I want to play this action. So the person's actions now cost 3. And it'll. I'm gonna resolve what's on the text here first, which lets me place one influence on the lowest spot in any city, which is great. Woohoo! I'm gonna place it there, and like right there.
Yep.
Next to
and
Henry.
Jahja.
Thank you very much. And now that one is for free. And as part of Preston's action, I will pay one to move to where Henry is. Can you please move it, Henry?
You're gonna kick me out of. You're gonna ask me to kick myself at the top spot.
Yes, and then I get
So
the
kind.
3 points.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm just being polite. Thank you very much. I have 3 points. 3 points now.
So you can see there, this is how the influence battle works. You can simply pay the difference in column costs to move up, and anytime you move into someone's column, you just kick everyone below you down.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to pay 1 to put my support there. I don't want to miss out on battle like before. Oh, sorry. Flip it the other way. And draw back.
My turn to develop. I'm going to play this local reinforcements card. It costs me 3 gold. It is one of my factions, so I get to choose a city which has my influence and gain 1 footman for each adjacent fortress, so another footman for my ever-burgeoning footman army. And then the development action, I do really want to work on my citadel defenses because I don't want someone to just buy me out of that area like just happened before. So if you're going to get me out of there, you're going to have to siege me out.
Ah.
Right, and I redraw.
Right, well, for my turn, I'm going to do, I think, an income because I need to get some money and I need to recover some footmen because my army's been pretty depleted from that bloody battle we had moments ago. So
I don't hear you bragging about monies again.
No, I sort of have to, yeah.
Begging.
I'm going to have a lot of money in just a sec.
Yes,
So I
okay.
got 2 from here.
Tails between your legs.
Yeah, tail between my legs at the moment. I have 2 from Jerusalem. Also at the top of the board have 2 from here, 2 from here, and 1 from there. So 7 from the board.
Yep.
I also get to get 2 income as part of the action itself.
Yes.
And for those, instead of getting coins, I'm going to get footmen. So can you give me 2 footmen, please? Tarrant. Okay. And that is all.
Yes, even though, again, you've upgraded your churches, but there's still none of your churches on the board.
No.
So
yeah.
We go to round 5.
Let's do the move action, shall we? So I will first gain 1 coin and 1 support. And I will move. Now I'm going to show the movement from here. So it's going to cost me 1 per step of movement, regardless of how many support. So 1, it costs 1 money. And then 2 to get here. And then 3 to get here. Hello. So I'm paying 3.
That is a mighty move you've done there.
Yeah, I need some support like behind here. And then I probably could have put more support before. Anyway, that's okay. So I'm starting a siege.
A siege, okay.
Yeah.
So how the siege is going to work. Stella has initiated it, and it will automatically be against me because I have the highest influence within this area. Unlike the battle, we cannot reinforce by bringing in support. So only the support that's currently in this area can get involved. So in this initial phase, it's now up to first Stella, then me, to try to convince Henry to be our ally.
Henry, help me. Because Tarrant is winning.
He is winning, yes, that's true.
Yeah, but Stella has control of 3 areas at the moment, 3 cities. So she's going to get a lot of points at the end of the crusade.
All right, what can you offer Henry then?
That's true.
Stella,
Yes. I'll only help you if you take all the wounds in the fight. So if Tarrant attacks us and he rolls wounds, I don't want to lose any of my troops. I want you to dedicate all the wounds to yourself.
How about 1 to 3?
Maybe Tarrant can do me a better deal. Tarrant, would you take all the wounds if I helped you in this battle?
I do have a lot of footmen.
I do love the faith.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I want my city. I would take the wins.
Yeah.
What? All of them? Or
I might take all of them.
Well, Stella, you do control a lot of the board, so as Tarrant says...
This is like a spec thing now happening. But hey, at the end of the day, I get to decide. So I could backstab you back if, or Tarrant can backstab you back if you fighting Tarrant.
But I don't trust both of you to keep your word.
You do have no power in the allocation
I
of
look like
wounds.
more trustworthy.
Well, it's just, down the line will cost you more in the long run to dedicate those wounds to me. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. So who would you side against? All right, I can take your wound.
You want to take my wounds?
Yeah.
All right, Stella.
All right.
I'll side with you.
Let's do it. Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So it's Stella and Henry versus me. So because the primary combatants are Stella and me, we are the ones who play cards.
Okay, it's my card.
Yep. I'll play over on the left, and you and Henry can play over on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we commit faith and units. So all of us get to do this, and the limit is 2 per support, plus 1 per influence, plus, and this applies only to me, an extra 2 because I have 2 citadels off my board. So the unit limit is 4 for Stella, 5 for Henry, 5 for me, plus any number of faith.
Okay, I'm quite
So
faithful.
again, we are doing this behind our screens. At
Normally, yeah. All right, you ready? Okay. Henry, put over here. You're on the wrong side of the team.
Okay.
All right, so this is going to be a big fight battle. We also reveal the cards.
Yep, so I've got 4, and one of them are this one for siege. So 2 swords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
And does my castle add 1?
Not in a battle. That's only in a... Sorry, not in
Not in
Not in a
siege.
not in a siege. That's only in a battle. So you start with 15.
Yes.
I start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus I get an additional 3 from my Citadel upgrade. So that gives me 11. So our starting point is 15 to 11. So this is going to make my life a bit difficult, I think, because between the two of you, you have 4 dice and I have only 1.
Ooh.
So we roll.
Oh, bloodbath. I will roll bloodbath as well.
Yep.
Oh, Henry. Thank you.
I think I'm in trouble now. And you have 1 re-roll as well.
That's correct, because of my mosques that's been built. Let's roll. Same result.
Same.
What are the chances?
Okay. Now we resolve the battles. So you all win. You have more swords than I do. So the outcome of this in a siege is slightly different. Regardless of this result, we were each going to get 1 point. So 1 point for being involved in the siege. Had I won as the defender, I would get to improve my influence there, and because I'm at max, I would have got an extra point, but that doesn't happen. What happens instead is that Stella gets to decide whether to kick my influence out and take over with her own influence, or to essentially burn the city down, remove that citadel and both of those influences, and gain the money shown, which is 6.
I have some money, so I'm going to just go there. Hello, Tarrant. And give me your victory point, which I'm going to just steal from you.
Then we resolve wounds. So I'm going to suffer 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds. So these my footman army is nowhere near where it started. And I deal you 2 wounds. So now we see.
Yeah, I'll keep to my words.
Thank you, Stella.
No problem. So next time you can help me. See? Proof. Sorry. And then I want to buy this back.
Yes. So now it's the buyback time. So I have 1 footman. I am going to buy that back myself for a single gold.
I have 2. It's 2 gold to take this back.
And I'll also buy my 2 back for 2.
Yeah.
Okay. And the faith is removed.
Yes. And then?
And we both redraw to 4 cards. And that's the end of the turn. And that is also the end of our 1-round playthrough. So we've shown pretty much everything that can happen in the game other than the intermediate scoring. So what would happen here is we would keep taking turns until we hit the last round. Then we would each get 1 more round. And then we would score points for all of our control markers, 1 point for each. So that's where we would see these battles really starting to come in and influence the play. Then we would clear out all of these cards at the end of the first crusade, so everything goes to cheap again, and do a second crusade. And at the end of the game, we would also score for the buildings we had on the board. And as I mentioned before, the additional cities would come into play as we got into the second crusade. You can also fight more conflicts. Every movement action only lets you do 1 conflict in the first crusade, but lets you do 2 in the second.
So we keep our friendship, apparently. I still need Henry for other videos. So thank you, Henry, for coming over and playing with us. And that is, thank you. And that is Lords of Heaven. So check out the project on Kickstarter and let us know if you have any questions, comments, and like and share it if you find it useful. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.